Councilman Kukoviac.
Well, I would certainly, obviously, want to comply within the state law. When Mr. Case and I were working on this, we weren't focused on that. To your point, Council President, to say that this is a one-time event and that there's no problem, if you think putting the December 2011 agenda up in the December 2012 link is a problem, is not a problem, I again disagree with you. I think a lot of these things, if we had this ordinance, the proposed language on the books, we wouldn't have said, a certain person is not going to be available to put this up in a timely manner, let's just skip it until the day of the meeting. I just don't think it would have happened, and that's part of the reason why I specified this. I don't think it's a personnel policy. I don't want to bring anybody into it. I just like we do with all of the laws, we just say here's what we want to do, and then we figure out how to do it. But I'm not, again, as I said at the last meeting, I'm not criticizing anybody individually. I just think we need to make this clear how important this is to get information out to the people that elected us, that are asking us to tell them what's going on with their government, how we're spending their money, and what we're doing.
Mayor.
Thank you. Kind of glad I'm not amongst the council. Completely a legislative matter, so whatever the council decides to do, obviously the administration will adhere to. This is kind of the first time I'm hearing about this other than seeing some of the emails, and just my perspective. And I guess 2 points. First of all, we're upgrading the website for the very reason to get information out to the public in a better and more organized fashion. That aside, the best computer in the world, the best website, it's all run by manpower. And I can tell you, and I wish Mike's name didn't come up yet, but he's the guy who does it. He's having some issues and he's dealing with that, and we're praying for a positive outcome. But he's a human being. So you mentioned the December 12th agenda. I didn't see that. I'm going to take your word for it, but mistakes happen. But I just caution all of us when we're going to pass an ordinance. Short of the ordinance saying that if someone violates it, they're going to jail, we're still going to be right back where we started from now, trying to adjust and address human error. We're all doing the best we can. If this administration is not doing some things in a timely manner, you notify us, we're going to address it. We all make mistakes. Every person out there in the audience makes mistakes. We do the best we can. I personally don't know that a couple instances in the course of the long time that I'm sitting here is, means for taking a drastic step. If there's state law, then we'll address that. I just want to caution us all before we try to legislate something that's only going to put us right back to where we are, hoping and demanding that we're all accountable and we all do the best we can. The clerk's office is screwing up. The clerk's office works for the council. You got to address it. If the IT department on the administration's end is screwing up, you tell us. You notify Jack. We'll deal with it. We're doing the best we can with sometimes short staff, not very good equipment. So I just, before the argument kind of continues again, before you all think about it and bring it up again the next meeting, I don't think an ordinance changes anything from where we are right now. There's problems periodically. We need to address them. We have an obligation to get the information to the public in a timely manner. Passing an ordinance doesn't change the fact that, yes, unfortunately at times there's human error. We all do the best we can in all of our professions and all of our roles as elected officials to minimize it. But the reality is it happens. We try to keep it to a minimum, but I'm not sure an ordinance is going to prevent, reluctantly and honestly, human error from occurring.
I agree, and those were basically my feelings as well. And I just want to make something very clear to the public. In no way did I say that I would not put this on the agenda because I'm not in favor of transparency. I certainly am. I just felt exactly, I told you how I felt about it before, and what the mayor just reiterated is why I felt that it was unnecessary. You're dealing with a human factor. 2012 instead of 2011, I guess somebody pushed the number 2 instead of the number 1. It's going to happen. But I feel that both these departments are doing a job that they're being paid for, and I don't feel that there's a problem. So, Councilman Anderton.
So when you saw the link was on the wrong date, who's the right office to call to remedy that? And did you do so?
I generally, when I see all of these mistakes that I see, I don't send it around to the other council. I send it to the appropriate people, and it gets fixed.
Okay. So
But-
you're saying that didn't happen?
I did not. I did not inform anybody about this. No.
So
But
you don't have to get into that. So then, if you didn't let anyone know that there was a problem, you can't expect it to be fixed. But
Yes.
having said that, we should just get it fixed tomorrow.
Yes, but I'd rather not spend my time, and I've been doing this for over 2 years, pointing out when there are mistakes. And perhaps what I should do is just start sending an email around to anybody. I don't want to make a big deal of it. I just wanted to get fixed. But it's clear to me that there is a big difference between putting it in an ordinance and a law and just saying we'll get to it if we can. We don't do that with the police department. We don't do that with the fire department. That's why we've got this huge ordinance book, that it makes a difference that we put it in law. We say that this is important to us, and we're going to hold the appropriate people accountable.
I think we all agree. This is what I heard. So I have no problem with that. If there's an error or something needs to be fixed, just let's, Madam Clerk, if we could fix that tomorrow, or whether it's, I don't know whether it's your office or the IT office, but
Yeah,
we can
it's
just
not
correct
us.
that, please.
It's not our office.
Okay. Then we'll leave it in the hands of Mr. Sayers to have remedy tomorrow with the appropriate staff.
But we don't even have, the ordinance doesn't even reference putting it up, any timetable, any intent,
You're right.
anything whatsoever.
You're right. But
We're
you
just
don't
going to
need an
keep
ordinance
going
to fix
along the
it.
way.
But you don't need an ordinance to, if something's in the wrong spot, we can fix it, I think, is the way I'm following it.
Yeah, we have an ordinance that exists right now, how to develop the agenda. All right? Do you think that we should get rid of that ordinance because we'll just do the best we can?
No, I'm agreeing with you, Joe. I'm saying if there's an agenda item that's listed in the wrong spot on the website, it could be fixed. And that so we just need to let the administration know that, and I trust that they could fix it. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying if there's something that's in the wrong spot, let them know and we can fix it.
So, but you are disagreeing with me that we shouldn't amend the ordinance to make it clear?
No, I'm not.
So you're in favor of the ordinance? It sounds like Councilwoman McCartney's...
I think we're all on the same page. I don't have...
I think you're talking about two different things
Right,
here.
I think it's time
You're
to
both talking
sit
about two
back
different
and see
things.
if there is a state statute. I could Google it now if you like.
Really, it's not,
Sal
if
is
there's a state
referring to
statute,
the
then
December meeting.
it supersedes what we're going to do locally anyway. And, unless you can find it, you have your
Well,
own-
unless the law says that we can't do what we want, we certainly would have to comply with that, but maybe we want to do something different. I don't think we should hold
read
this...
the state statute to see what it says.
Well, we can certainly sound that, we can certainly do that. Mr. Kaiser, where do we go from here?
I'm hoping that Mr. Cirillo has a citation for the state statute. If you don't,
Well, I'll
I'll
give
do
you
a
a
Google
call
search and
tomorrow.
find it, but
We'll talk tomorrow.
it would be helpful because I did not hear about that recent legislation. Could well
Yeah,
be.
it has to do with, you've heard the recent articles about government operating in the shadows, shadow governments.
Okay.
And that's where that legislation came out of. Senator Barbara Bono, the State Inspector General audited over 500 local agencies and governments. And they rated the local governments based on their transparency, whether they have a website, whether they post agendas, whether there's minutes, financial statements, etc., organizational charts. So out of that work and out of that investigation came legislation. And the legislation has been moving through the legislature for the last year and a half, and it's my understanding that it was adopted very recently.
Well,
And it requires local governments to have a website, to have financial statements, to have audited statements, to have agendas, to have minutes, to have organizational charts, just to build more transparency in local government.
Right. From your description, it sounds like it's a statewide, situation, probably preemptive, so it may be that it'll control. As I said, I have not read about it, didn't hear about it, so I'm happy to take a look at it, and if you can provide the citation, that'd be very
Absolutely.
helpful.
Will
Thanks.
do.